why am I now being met with this expectation that you've made up in your head?
You just trying at me.
I'm not trying to.
You're at me.
I'm giving advice.
No, because I can tell when you're at me. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're good. Hope you're well. So, episode 1. No, I'm joking. Not episode. Anyways, ask the Afadis. We told you to ask us questions, and we have had a few. Before we get into that, I just want to say thank you so much for the reception on my last vlog, the one, like the day in the life one about my anxiety. So many comments, and like the length of the comments is mad. Like people giving me so much love and encouragement and advice and stuff like that. So thank you so much.
That's great.
I literally sat on the train to work and thought I could get through all of them. I only got through half, so I'm gonna try and reply to everyone. And also, like, loads of people have DM'd me on Instagram. Yeah, it's really overwhelming. I cried a little bit. But I have not cried since then. You'd be glad to know, at work. I don't think. Anyways, thank you so much. So, for this video, we are going to be answering, I think I've got 2 questions that people have asked us. And yeah, we're just going to give you our honest, open opinion.
As always.
The views are our own. Nobody else's. So yeah. So I've had, one was in the YouTube comments, one was in the YouTube comments, and then someone DM'd me. So I'm going to read the YouTube comment first. This one's interesting because it's in relation to something I was saying about being in the shower and like making up scenarios and having an overactive imagination. They said, I'm single and I fantasize about what people might be like and end up liking the guy in my imagination versus the one in front of me. I fantasize about the future and marriage, etc. And I need to find the balance between healthy excitement but also being present and realistic. So this one's an interesting one because this is definitely me. Like, I have got an overactive imagination. I think it's always been a good thing, except when it's not a good thing, like when you're thinking about the worst outcomes, etc. But she's saying she has an overactive imagination as well, and she fantasizes about people, including potential partners, and then the fantasy ends up being the person she falls for rather than the actual person. Have you ever done that? You probably haven't.
No, I haven't.
Mr.
Straight and
Do you even dream? No, I'm joking. So he's never. The fantasy of someone or something has never been better than the reality of it, or
the fantasy of some. I mean, they always say like, "Oh, don't meet your heroes and stuff," because it might be like, this person online or whatever, they're really nice, and then you meet them, and then they're the complete opposite. But not like, I don't think I've had that in a day to day.
I have.
Yeah. I
definitely fantasize about a lot of things, and then for me, it just kind of makes me excited about it. So I'm not really I would say I'm not always putting my expectation in that, but actually maybe I am subconsciously. And there are definitely instances where, because of the build up of what's in my head, the reality hasn't always been the same. And it doesn't mean the reality is bad. It's just the fantasy in it. What would I say in response to this then? I would probably say don't look at it as a negative thing completely. When I was single, I always used to fantasize about like, who am I going to be with and stuff like that, just for fun. Like, I'd see someone that I fancy and I'm like, they're going to look like that, and then whatever. So I think as long as you understand that obviously it's a fantasy and it is not real, and that your fantasies aren't so narrow that you're almost not pleased with whoever and it ends up being, does that make sense?
Yeah.
As long as your fantasy is just like, oh, I like tall guys, so you're fantasizing about tall guys, cool. I would say just make sure you're keeping it broad and that you're actually telling your real self that in reality fantasies are not real.
Yeah, I think it's all about what you want, because if you want like a nice guy, or for any guys watching, if you want a nice girl or whatever, like Adella, you made a list of what you wanted in a partner, and where, for example, if the thing on your list is a guy who's like 6 foot whatever, I think it's good to fantasize about that. And if you're able to have somebody that is 6 foot something, then great. But if they're not and they actually check all the other boxes in there, then I would say don't necessarily close yourself off. Adela gave me a small twinge because the 6 foot thing is a big thing, which I understand. But I'm not saying sacrifice it. But what I am saying is that don't narrow yourself in.
Yeah.
And also with fantasizing, I would also say that you need to be careful of what you take in that contributes to your fantasies, which is
yeah. At me next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
I was gonna say it next,
You're
but then
right.
do you wanna?
No, carry on.
Yeah, because in fact there was another question. It was talking about like sex and stuff, and I think but we'll probably do that one later. But for example, one thing that happened with us was that Adella, who loves to fantasize, was like, "Oh, sex is gonna be like this and whatever," and it's great, but some of the things that
Are we going there?
but some of the things that you thought would happen didn't happen, and I had to be like, okay, well, what are you allowing? Where are you getting this notion from, or what are you allowing to speak to you? Because
it's making me giggly.
Huh?
Don't make me giggle.
Yeah, what are you allowing to speak to you? Because this isn't a conversation that we've had. We've never talked about this before. So why am I now being met with this expectation that you've made up in your head? Which is not bad to make up in your head, but you have to realize and recognize what are you allowing to speak to situations that affect you and somebody else.
Mm-hmm. And I would say things that you are allowing to shape your fantasies is, of course, things that you see, things that you read, things that you hear, like social media. Everyone might be talking about, like, took me to Paris on the first date, and then now that's shaping your expectation, or even in the opposite way, you might have like low expectations because of what you hear. Like I said, what you watch, what you listen to, but also your past experience can shape your thingy. So like not letting go of, or having an experience and then assuming that is the norm because it's all you know. So that's kind of a natural way to look at your experiences.
And then
I would even say, like what we talked about before about like our family differences. We came into, well, maybe not on purpose, but subconsciously we probably came into marriage thinking this is the normal way to do something based off of our upbringing, but actually realizing no, that's just your experience. So I think the same can apply to the way you might fantasize about the person that you're seeing. You might be basing it off of like your ex or something like that. Yeah.
So again, it's not bad. You just have to really check yourself. And then also don't get offended when the person you're projecting those fantasies onto challenges them too.
You just trying at me.
I'm not trying at you. I'm giving advice.
No, because I can tell when you're at me. Don't try it.
I'm actually giving advice.
Okay, whatever.
I'm actually giving advice. I'm sweating.
Yeah, good sweat.
I'm actually giving advice.
No, it's the way you said it.
What?
Don't be offended.
I'll at you if you want me to at you.
No, it's alright. We'll talk later.
Yeah.
Whatever. But you're right.
It's,
if you think about it, it is a bit unfair on the person. As long as that person is not being, what's the word? Like they're not treating you less than they should. As in, if you look at it, objectively, talking to the person who asked this question, if you look at the person you're seeing objectively in the way he's treating you, are you happy with that? Full stop. Like, is he respecting you? Is he kind to you, etc.? But if you shouldn't compare it to the fantasy. Compare it to just your standards. Full stop. Without the fantasy.
Yeah, and there is space to let your fantasies happen. In the person, it's just about communicating.
I knew now.
It's just about communicating. So like Adella would tell me, oh, like this is a fantasy of mine, and then we're like, okay, cool. So we want to have a lifestyle where we go on more holidays, for example.
So clarify, because when you said that,
huh? Oh yeah. Not everything's about sex, but you want to go on more holidays, for example. So it's like, okay, cool. So how can we work that in right now? Is this realistic? Where are you being influenced? Okay, let's try and make it happen. So there's space for it. It's just making sure that you're recognizing that this is something that you want, rather than saying it needs to be like this.
So think about your wants objectively and, like I said, away from the fantasy, if that makes sense. So you're just thinking, okay, me as a person, this is actually what I really want and desire. So you've got practical things in there and you've just got things that you like as a person, and then project that or go based off that and not just your fantasy.
Cool.
Make sense?
Next one. What?
At me again. Okay. Okay, this one says, so I was watching one of your YouTube videos recently about being intentional in dating and the talking stage. You also spoke about how you and Keith were just friends for 6 months. Do you think that you were both intentional about your friendship then? And is there such thing as intentional friendship? Does it exist? I recently began a friendship with a guy, and being someone that doesn't like unnecessary male energy in my space, I'm conflicted as to whether me being intentional to get to know him and if our morals align is me being rigid, or it should be somewhat of a go with the flow friendship. However, I also don't feel like the way I'm being intentional is being reciprocated, but I've seen how intentional he is in dating. And not to compare, because they shouldn't be the same intensity anyway, but there's a difference between something taking time, but in that time, there's an effort being made to know each other. Okay. So they're saying, first of all, is there such thing as an intentional friendship, or should they go with the flow? And then also, the guy is not showing the same level of intentionality in the friendship as she is, but she's seen that he can be intentional when he's dating, and she knows that those two things are separate, but she said there's a difference between something taking time, but there's still being effort made to know each other.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
Okay. Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
Do you have a thought?
I do have a thought.
Okay, you go first.
Okay.
Because I don't. Not yet.
I think there is such thing as intentional friendships, as its own, where you're intentionally pursuing somebody as a friend, and then there also, I think there is a thing as an intentional friendship in the hopes of dating somebody, if you are the person who is pursuing the person you want to date. If that makes sense. Because
So what's intentional friendship? Just the friendship?
For example, I want to be friends with, let's say, Scanter, for example. Okay. Yeah. I want to be, so I put effort in to be friends.
So it's not nothing related to a relationship then?
No, but there is there's two types. So the one where it pertains to the relationship, I think if you are the person who is pursuing the person, then you're getting to know them as a friend, because your relationship is going to be based off your friendship, not just I like how this person looks. Or sorry, it should be based off of friendship, I should say. So because if we take our example, you wouldn't really know, when we were dating, you wouldn't have known that you were in an intentional friendship for dating. It was just me. No, I get it. But I'm saying that I made the decision to do that.
To do what?
To be like, okay, cool. I'm going to spend these particular amount of months to get to know her on her own, with friends.
But
yeah,
it was intentional on my part too, because I like, as in like, I don't know if she like has a crush on this guy or not. I'm assuming she must have some kind of interest, otherwise she wouldn't even care, kind of thing. But I think, yes, you were being intentional about pursuing me, and the ball was kind of in your court because I wasn't chasing you. I still feel like the friendship was intentional on my part, because let's say like after we moved past like acquaintances stage, I knew you ticked all my boxes. So even if I hadn't decided whether I liked you like that or not, I knew that you were a potential. Yeah. And so the friendship for me was very intentional in that, okay, we're friends now, but I'm figuring this guy out because he's potentially someone that I could like. Yeah,
but that's what I mean, is that that's you on the receiving end. But if I had not put us in positions, like, for example, let's go out for meals, or us hanging out alone in the library, like those type of circumstances wouldn't have arisen for you to be like, oh, okay, I might consider Keith as a potential. So my question...
I think it could have, because I could have made those situations happen.
Yeah, but then you would be pursuing me, and then it would have been...
No, like, in order to be like, get you to start pursuing me, I could have...
No, I get it, but what I'm trying to say is that if I had said... Basically, my question is to her, what is she actually doing? Because this... Yeah, because I know that there's jokes around, for example, how women or girls let a guy know that they're interested. Like, you might drop a pen.
Don't try.
And then that's like, oh, I tried to say...
Shoot my shot.
Yeah, shoot my shot. But it's more of like, how are you actually doing it? So it's saying like, hey, do you want to I don't know, go out for that. Well,
Are you saying that she should do that?
I'm not saying that she should do that. I'm just saying that she needs to look at what she's doing in order to let the guy know that I'm being intentional with you.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Because are you saying that because she's saying that it feels like it's not being reciprocated?
Yeah, because if it's because I'm not a woman, so I wouldn't know. You know, but I'm just thinking from a guy's point of view. We put the people we want to pursue in situations for them to say, for them to reciprocate the energy that we're giving, or to be like, no, I'm not interested.
Yeah. For me, yeah, I know it's 2020 and girls are shooting their shot, but if this was me in this situation, I just feel like this might be wrong, yeah? This is my opinion. But I feel like if this was me, and we're friends, yeah? So it's at a point where you know who I am, yeah? You've seen me, we talk, I'm assuming you talk and like hang out occasionally or whatever. But I feel like I'm putting more energy in a friendship than you. I wouldn't do anything because I feel like if we've got a friendship, yeah, and if I've chosen that I'm not going to be the pursuer because that's just not me, I wouldn't, then I don't know what else there is for me to do. I would definitely, like, in a fun way, try to, you know, get your attention. You know, like you do when you have a crush on someone, I'll try to get your attention, I'll try to spend more time with you, etc. But in terms of trying to make you more intentional in the friendship, I really don't know what there is for me to do. And I'd feel like, okay, if you're not taking it any further, then that maybe you're not feeling me.
Yeah, and I think that's a good place to come to a conclusion. But again, it goes back to what are you actually doing? Because if you're saying to me, you're saying, hey Keith, let's go study with me and your friends, for example. That might be a comfort for you. However, I'm now looking at it as a guy like, okay, I'm just going to hang out with a group of people. But
if you like me or you're maybe, would you not just then? No,
but we don't know if the guy likes her, right? So we just going off her own actions. Again, this is your fantasizing thing. So,
no, it's not.
Yeah, sure. No. Yeah. Let me learn. So we can't put the guy in a situation or make up a story that isn't there. So all we know is that she likes him. Yeah. She's seen how intentional he can be in dating. She said that she
hasn't said she likes him, but I'm assuming if you're so concerned about being intentionally friendship, whatever.
So it comes back to what position are you putting yourself in to let him know that you're trying to be intentional with him.
What position should that be?
I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what practically it looks like in terms of, it might be like, for example, what two of our friends did, where she invited him to a basketball game knowing that was the thing that he really liked. Like those type of things. Okay. The same way I was like, hey, do you want to go grab lunch after church? Sorry, dinner after church, and it was just us two. Yeah. So, or for example, hey, let's watch a movie, or watch Looper.
This is all friendship, yeah. This is all in the friendship zone.
This is all friendship, because if you're being intentional about friendship to get to know somebody, there's no reason why you can't do something that you would normally do with another friend.
I would advise her though to guard her heart and just because the lines can be blurred between intentional friendship and you just fancy this person and you're trying to like get to know them, which of course can be like, I've even said in videos that when we were friends, I definitely started liking you. I don't know, early on probably because you know me, we fast. But I never actually said it. So people be like, oh, you and Keith. I'm like, oh, we're just friends. And they'd be like, oh, but he likes you. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Even though deep down I probably knew, I wasn't ready to say that because I didn't want to. You hadn't explicitly said that you liked me. So just be careful. Yeah. And during that period, what I was doing was taking those months to be like, okay, who is Adella as a person? Is our friendship, does it have a good basis before I even say, hey, I like you? So also, just for those who didn't watch the video, I didn't we didn't kiss beforehand. I didn't put my arm around Adella or anything like that. It was more just like getting to know you as a person, just having fun. And then you tried to go from magic. Huh? I was gonna say you tried to go from 0 to 100, but you didn't. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
No, because when you told me you liked me, then I was like, "Whoa, me too!" But damn, like we haven't even like hugged.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We have to have a bit of a buffer period for me to be like, oh, okay, this is like my babes.
Yeah.
I hope that answered your question. Basically, yes, I think there can be something, such thing as intentional friendship, although take it very lightly because, you know, you don't want to kind of get yourself too caught up before you've moved past that friendship stage.
Yeah.
And as Keith said, let him know or make it apparent that you are trying to be intentional with the friendship, and don't be prideful like me.
Yeah.
That's what Keith was trying to say. Yeah, I hope those answers helped, and if anyone is watching this and has similar questions, then I hope that helped you. Like we said, ask the Afadis, comment below,
or send us
DM us, email me, and we will try and do more of these. They can be questions related to you, or you can just be like a topic that you want our opinion on. Let us know what you think of the questions down below. If you have a different opinion to us, we're here to prove you wrong. No, joking, to hear you. All right. See you in the next video, guys. Bye.
Put your feet down.
No, I like I'm comfortable because I'm not relaxed.
And we need to move that way.
Why do you make that face like I've literally stubbed your mum or something? It's so dramatic. Is it recorded?
Yeah.
Oh. Love you. Hey guys.
Hey. My bad. My bad.
Hey. All right.